All right, so we're back with another episode of Inconsistent Podcast. It's your boy Shy, Saint Lorraine, and I got my homeboy Clay, aka Sloof,
Yo, what's good, y'all?
and we're going to talk about Diablo 4. Um,
Oh man.
so I've just completed the main campaign. I'm working on the capstone dungeon right now, and the new season is out. So I like because I just completed the campaign and I haven't completed the capstone dungeon. I still
Yeah.
can't access the season, right?
What? I thought you just had to beat the story mode. Really?
I think you have to complete the capstone dungeon too. So I found that really kind of whatever, kind of aggravating. Like I want to be able to give them like the benefit of the doubt with it, but it's aggravating because it's like I thought the point of the season is to like bring in new people.
See, that's where I'm at too, right? Because I'm sitting there like, yeah, the point of the season is to like add new stuff to the game and like make it dope and stuff and the seasonal stuff. So basically, the season introduces a new quest line, malignant hearts, which are like these little. It's basically gems, but they're not gems. It's like abilities that you can input into your items, like gems, that give you like some dope stuff. Like last night, I got a thing from my barbarian that's like every 20 kills you get a different ability. So my first one is like 20% attack speed. After 20 kills, it switches to like something, I think it's like critical chance or something like that. And then like it switches again after 20 kills to like you ignore damage every 20 seconds or
That
some
sounds
shit
cool.
like that. Yeah, it's really dope. But I don't know, it's kind of like, what's the point if like at the end of the season, like
It all goes away.
everything malignant related gone.
Right.
Like the aspects that they bring, the malignant hearts that you can put on your weapon, like that all expires. So it's kind of like playing a game knowing your save date is gonna get deleted, which is like, it's upsetting, but I'm like, I'm seeing where this goes, right? And then another thing that kind of like confuses me is for like why my main character couldn't be in the seasonal stuff is so in between seasonal quests, I'm basically doing the stuff that I would have been doing already on my Eternal Realm character. I just don't have access to the Hell Tides or Nightmare Dungeons because it's a new character.
You have to level up again to get it.
Yeah, I had to get back to level 50 and then beat that capstone dungeon.
So the seasonal character doesn't start off at the same level as your strongest character.
You might as well start a new game.
Wow, that's not fun. That's
Yeah.
my thing with the seasonal thing is, like you said, like I looked at, I even asked other people online, like talk to other people and see what they were saying and stuff, and a lot of them said like, yeah, this is how it's always been since like Diablo 3, where the seasonal has always been like this this new game, this refreshing start, this way to refresh your experience with the game and stuff. But that being said, like I said, I just finished the campaign, and I was telling you this yesterday. I feel like Lilith was like my first real boss fight, but she was the last fight in the game. I feel like the campaign in Diablo 4, even though I felt like even though I wanted to take my time with it, and I said that in my actual review of the campaign, the early level campaign, this is kind of like the end of the campaign kind of retrospect. But I feel like even though I enjoy taking my time in this game, the introduction of the season so soon, even though I was playing it really kind of slow and taking my time, I still feel like the season came way too soon. And because you can't access the season without having completed the game, it forced me to speed up my playtime against my will.
Which I feel like is counterproductive to like game being fun. Like, you should want to have something to look forward to, right? Not something you feel like you have to rush through. Like, you're playing the game at your pace. You're enjoying it as you go. you're doing side quests and all that. Like, you're experiencing the game, and then it's like, here comes the new update, but you gotta rush and do everything now because you're basically starting over.
Right. So like, I'm gonna compare this to another game that I was talking about a lot with AG, Fallout 76. Right. So like when that game came out, there was no NPCs in the game, and then enough people like when it complained about it, so they added NPCs to the game. But the way they did it is that when you're playing the game, you're on a server where everybody else has no NPCs. Like if you start the game, you have no NPCs. There's no one in your world until you complete the main quest. Once you complete the main quest, that quest triggers the NPCs coming into the world.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, every time you go into the game, you're on a server where people have at least unlocked that change in the world, right? I feel like if you're going to do like updates to a live service game like that, or like Diablo, where it's like, okay, you beat Lilith, and now the world is going to start going through incremental changes. You know, before the DLC comes out, there's going to be incremental changes.
Yeah.
I feel like you're supposed to cater to the experience of a character going on that incremental journey.
Yeah.
So like, I should beat that campaign and then start experiencing the small changes in the world.
Yeah.
Narelle whatever went and did this with the stone, so now there's malignant stuff happening in the world because of her journey or whatever. That should be part of the campaign. Like there should be the season of it should be for new people.
Yeah.
Like it should actually be fully accessible for people who did not do the campaign.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, if you start a seasonal character, they're actually level 50.
Yeah.
But you can't bring them into Earthrealm until you complete the seasonal whatever.
Yeah.
So like new people get like a condensed campaign to play, where it's like you won't get the full story of it unless you play the actual campaign or whatever. And then everyone else who's already been playing the game should just be able to access like the season, like the story of the season, because the game isn't at a point yet where you can say like, let's start over.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's brand new.
This is the building up part. This is the part where we're just getting to level 50. Like, we just fought the actual boss of the game. Like, this is not Diablo 3. Diablo 3 wasn't a live service game. You know, so Diablo 3 had live service stuff added way after the game ended. But the main game was so long. Like each act had a Lilith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like each act had like I remember fighting was it Belial or
Belial,
like the Lord of Lies and all that. Like each one of them was like memorable. Like, bro, I don't know any name of any boss that I fight. Like I knew I was fighting a boss because of the arena change and whatever, but Lilith was like the only memorable boss fight I remember.
It's that same thing with Diablo 2. You remember Andario, you remember Duriel, you remember Mephisto, you remember Diablo and Baal. So it's like those were the big bosses. Everything else in between was like just stronger bosses on the way to the actual
bunch of mini
main
bosses.
boss. Yeah.
But I feel like each act, I went through each act in Diablo 4 with no feeling of like there's a final boss for each act. Like at the very least, like if Lilith is the final boss of the game and the final boss for Act 4, I feel like there should be like a boss that I remember for Act 1, 2, and 3. Like I don't remember all the bosses, but I know like Belial was the boss for like Act 2 or Act 1 of Diablo 3. You know what I mean? And I feel like with this game being so recent, like I should remember an Act 2 or Act 3 boss, but I don't think there was like a real boss for those acts. Like there were some mini bosses or something, like they have names, but they weren't like.
And then like they randomly they like threw in Andario, and like the way they brought in Andario, I guess there was a lead up to it, but then like you just randomly run into Duriel, just boom, he's just there, and it's like, oh, there was no. I didn't know you was gonna be here, and you basically beat him up like a regular elite. But I remember like playing Diablo 2. I was always nervous before every time I knew it was like a boss fight. I was always nervous because I'm like, this shit about to be real. Like I remember with Duriel specifically, you go into his room and he is on you. Like instantaneously. You better make sure you got your potions, and your town portals, because you're gonna be going back to town, back and forth. Like, you have to have that on you, and you have to have enough coinage to buy another companion to take some hits before you get into the like I remember the feeling like, yo, it's about to get real. I'm about to come up on Duriel. And Dario, you're going down the catacombs like, oh, it's about to get real. I'm about to get into a Dario. And like, you don't get that feeling in Diablo 4 until you get up to Lilith. Like, okay, it's about to get real. I'm about to fight Lilith. But you don't get that because you know it's going to be hard. You get that because through the story they built up Lilith. And then it's like, all right, yeah, now to continue the journey, because, you know, we beat Lilith and what's her name? Nirel has Mephisto Stone. So it's like it's a continuation. And then like the malignant hearts are still based off of Lilith's corruption. So it's like, so you're based off of Lilith's corruption, but you're not a continuation for where I left off. You're start a new game. And like, I feel like I wouldn't mind it as much if I was actually doing like majority Malignant stuff. Like right now, like, sure, you could do the Malignant tunnels, but I'm at a point where it's like I can't get to the end of the Malignant tunnel because I haven't gotten to a certain point in the story mode, and I don't know where that is yet. All I know is like in between the chapters of the Malignant story mode, I'm doing regular stuff that I would be doing on my Eternal Realm character. So it's kind of like, how fresh is this, right? Because so this new season's been out for like what, a week now or something like that.
Something like that.
It doesn't feel fresh and new. It feels like you added a new story, but I'm still doing the stuff that I was doing on my other character. I'm just doing it with a brand new character. So it's like, okay, I'm leveling up all over again. And, you know, coming from like new players where it's like, yeah, I just enjoyed the mess out of the story mode. Lilith was dope. My character is dope. I just got to my first Paragon War. I beat the capstone dungeon. Like, what's next? I'm ready to go. It's like, start over.
Right, that's how I feel, because I'm that person right now.
Yeah.
Because like I just got to the end of my campaign.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking for more to do because I'm just unlocking the Paragon board.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want to put more into this. I'm about to go into these dungeons and like go and see what my character's full potential. Like, I'm about to invest my time for real. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, you got to start over. And I'm like, okay. And
you got to start over something. You got to start over for something that's gonna be gone in 3 months.
Because I remember when I asked you yesterday, I was like, well, can you at least keep like the loot, the gear that you get from the Malignant drops, and transfer it to your other character, like just put it in the stash box? And you're like, no, the stash boxes are separate. I'm like, now the stash boxes are separate.
Yep.
But in the Eternal Realm, everybody's inventory shared.
You know, I had a thought last night, right? Because I remember I was watching a video and it was like the devs talking, like they were responding on like Reddit or Twitter or something, and they were like, the main reason why we can't add in new stash boxes is because whenever you see another character in the world, you're loading their entire stash, right? So I was thinking about it, right? I was like, so at the end of the 3 months of the Malignant season, your Malignant character becomes an Eternal Realm character. But say you invested time in your Eternal Realm character, you got a full stash,
right?
And you bit the bullet and accepted, I'm gonna go all in on this Malignant. You know, this is the game they made. I'm a play it because I like the game.
Get 3 months worth of stuff.
So what happens when that character now becomes an Eternal Realm character, right? Are you just gonna lose someone's inventory? You don't know which one. You just gonna lose shit. You just gonna lose.
It's all gonna be on the floor outside of your stash box.
Like, it's like,
they're gonna ask if you want to pay for another inventory chapter. Wait, no, they haven't added that yet, have they? Do they have that?
What?
Like buying more inventory space?
You can buy more inventory space, but I think it's like you can only buy like 3 more boxes. So it's like you have your main box and then another one and then another one.
You see how they sell that feature though? Like, that's so lame.
And you use your gold for that.
use in-game gold or real life gold
No, like in the game gold.
to buy more inventory space?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine then. So it's an upgrade. It's an in-game upgrade. You can upgrade your inventory.
Yeah, but it's still annoying because it's like
Wait, who do I go to talk to about that?
it's in your stash. Like you go to the stash and I think you either like hold L3 or R3 or something like that, and it's like you go over and it's like 50,000 gold for another stash slot, and it's like another box, and you're like, okay.
People are filling up their inventories that much? Like filling up.
I mean, you got to think about it, right? People are like getting all the way up to like level 100 because apparently everybody else knew that once season 1 was over, you was gonna start over, so they like rushed that jump. So you know, you've got whatever aspects you've taken along the way. You've got gems, you've got legendary items that you may not have wanted to get rid of, or an item that you're like, oh, I can use this on my sorcerer or something. Like it's a ring. I can use that and just change the aspect. Like it's those things. So it's like
it's the same stash for all of your characters.
Yep.
On the turnaround.
Yep.
So like, if I fill up the first page with my necromancer, because I only play as one character, but like if I fill up the first page with my necromancer, and then I start a new character on the turnaround with the druid, and I go into my my stash box, that first page is gonna be filled up. That's complete ass.
Yeah. I had to think about it because I was like, is it filled up? And I was like, yeah, it is filled up.
That's ass.
So
if I play the game how they want me to play it, where I basically have like a complete playthrough for all of the starting classes, my stash box would be full of loot for each class. So even if I was really only hoarding like just really important, like maybe like 5 versions of each equipable body armor piece and 5 versions of like my top 5 favorite weapons with whatever, and then like a couple inventory aspects for each character.
It's all gonna be there.
That is annoying.
I can see how the like.
Wasn't it separate in Diablo 3?
I don't remember, but I don't know.
It might not have been separate, but I feel like there was. Because I had a sorcerer and a necromancer on Diablo 3. Like I actually did play 2 full classes on Diablo. Stashes was not an issue, and I put a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I had a lot more. Like I had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a transfer, but I don't know if there was like the regular stash and then eternal stash or something. I don't know, but they really messed up the stash box crap.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like I'm playing this season, you know, cause I enjoy Diablo. Like I actually enjoy the game. I just don't enjoy the direction of the game. And maybe it's because every other Diablo I played, I didn't get into it day one. You know, I don't remember when I got into Diablo 3. All I know is when I got into Diablo 3, I could do this thing and then jump into that thing and then go into that thing, stop playing the game for a while and then come back and like relearn my character, get into that thing and that thing. And when I wanted to make a new character, it was my choice. Right now, like, even if I did want to mess around with another character, because this is the feeling I was getting around the end of the season. Like, well, coming up to season 1, because before, you know, I had like a whole bunch of characters, because I was just playing around with them. But then, like, once I found out that it's like, nah, once the season starts, you gotta start a new character, and I was like, well then, I don't want to spend time playing another character right now because I'm just gonna have to start over anyways. So, if anything, if I'm playing a new character, I'm playing the new character thinking of the next season. Like,
right.
I guess I can use him for the next season. Like, not because it's like, I want to try out this character now. I want to try out that character. And then like, another thing they were saying was like, you know, in the season you can create builds that you wouldn't have been able to create on your Eternal Realm. But like, if all that seasonal stuff is gonna go away, like,
what happens to the build?
couldn't you just give me a loadout? could you just give me loadout so that it's like, okay, well then I'm making a seasonal build, and then once that season is gone, the malignant hearts are cured, all the corruption is gone, so that corruption is off me because I had to use the corruption, and it's like, okay, now we're getting to the next season, more seasonal things that you can use. That will keep the game fresh, because it's like, even though you're like starting over a new build, your investment into that character doesn't feel like a waste of time.
Yeah, I think it was too soon to do this restart based season stuff.
Yeah.
I know it's classic. I know it's a staple of Diablo and whatever, but I think with the way old Diablo games were made, like they were made as fully complete games.
Yeah.
And then the seasons came afterwards.
Yeah.
But, like, those games were substantial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like with this one, it's a live service game first. You have to adhere to like the live service nature of it, where it's like every season is supposed to be more of the game. Like, you're drip feeding the game to us.
Yeah.
You're not serving counter or clashing game modes that like run counterproductive. Like, you're telling me that I have to start over and progress fully on the season, so I'm not going to be fully invested on what I'm doing in the main game.
Yeah.
So when the expansion comes, like, and every season I'm starting a new character, it's a lot of, I don't want to play this game after a certain point. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I don't want to have to start a new character.
Yeah.
It's a cool option. It's a cool option. The option should be there to start a new character, but it should be an option. It should be like, yeah, this is more for the game. Like, we're building up the game. That's one thing Destiny knows to do right.
Yeah.
Is like common sense. It's
Like
the seasons.
any other game I know that has a season, and again, it's probably because I'm not used to starting over. But it's like when a new season comes out and it's like a new storyline, it's like another journey for your character. When Destiny has season, it's like it's a new story mode that you find out some stuff.
Even if it's a side quest,
You get
type
new
stuff.
guns. You're not gonna be using the same build you were using before because it's new guns, new abilities. Things change. It feels fresh.
The way the season for this part of Diablo, I feel like the seasons should be like, if you miss it, you miss out. But it's to build up your character for the next expansion. Like, we should be building up to the expansion. Like, every expansion should be like an Avengers movie.
We should be building up to knowing that we're about to fight Mephisto soon.
Right, and our main character should be getting this build up.
Yeah.
Not a temporary, soon to be thrown away or forgotten about seasonal character.
Yeah, because
the expansion, honestly, telling me the expansion when the next DLC actually drops, I'm gonna start a new character for that.
And then that wouldn't make sense, because it's like
this nigga didn't fight Lilith.
he didn't. And then Mephisto, you starting from level 1, and Mephisto walking around. Everybody was already having problems with Lilith. Mephisto gonna freaking flick you, and you gonna just disintegrate into another universe. Like,
so I don't know. I mean, I think the seasons right now, if we don't have like the major expansions, and if they need to save the seasons, this type of seasons, for when Diablo is like done.
yeah.
Like Diablo is either done or it's been around for a long enough time that people are officially bored of the game. And like this season is like, they're gonna switch it up. Like, they didn't switch shit up, like you said. Like, they didn't switch it up. When you do a season, like, hey, you have to use a new character, it's because the rules are broken. You know what I mean? Like, break the rules. Like, it's like, hey, you can only use like a necromancer in this world, in this season, because this is the season of the blood. So all blood builds are like OP.
Or you using bleed stuff on your barbarian.
So it's all OP.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, this is the season of the blood. These characters cannot fundamentally be in the regular game until
And
the
then,
season is over and they
who
get
knows?
nerfed.
You get stuff based off of your life force, since it's based off of blood.
Yeah, like the gear that you get is still broken, but now it adds more of a flair for the base game when you put it back into the base game once the season's over, because the base game is long since done. Like, we've long since beat all the evil, so now we're just doing crazy.
Not in Diablo 4.
No, I'm saying like if this was like Diablo 3, because in Diablo 3 like the seasons came out way later. I'm saying like in Diablo 4 if they saved this kind of seasonal shit for the very end, or for like not the very end, but for like year 3 or 4 of the cycle, where they start adding in like, okay, we've done the 3 major arcs, the 3 major expansions for Diablo 4. We're not gonna really be doing major expansions anymore, and then like we're doing seasonal stuff. But in these seasons, or in some seasons, we're going to like introduce completely like broken mechanics that only work inside of the season. And each class will have like certain perks that are so broken they only work in this season.
Then
so
it
have
would make
fun.
sense starting brand new.
Then it makes sense starting brand new with a new class, because you want to try out like, oh well, like we were saying, like the Necromancer's blood is 150% more effective on a level 1 nigga. The Barbarian's bleed skills are 150% more effective on a level 1, and you want to level up as much as you can in the season, because once the season is over, all of these like buffs are gone for the character, and they just return back to being a regular character. But during the season, you get like cool gear that works with the seasonal character, but then once like the season's over, like the gear is still, maybe it's cosmetic.
Yeah.
So it's like you unlocked like cosmetic gear that was unique to the season that you can bring back to your regular character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it feels like, okay, you still transition.
Yeah.
Right now, the seasons need to be kind of like the Avenger movies, like the Iron Man movies in between the Avenger movies, where it's like each movie is building up a major thing. And it sucks because they can't even do that right with the movies right now. But that's like that's the goal of the seasons right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Should be like, okay, I just beat the campaign. What am I gonna do next? You're gonna hop into season 1, the season of the Malignant.
Yeah.
Investigate these new malignant curses that are popping up now that Lilith is defeated.
Yeah.
That's what I want out of the game. Like, that's what I feel like should be natural to keep me naturally playing for the next 3 months.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
You
The
know?
game just came out.
Yeah, and you don't
The
have
game
to do
just
too
came
much.
out.
You're not introducing crazy like malignant perks and all that. They don't break the game. They're not that crazy. You don't need to be isolated. You know,
and then again, I'm playing the season right now, and the majority of the stuff I'm doing are just things that I was already doing on my Eternal Realm character. The only difference is once I finish doing those things, then I can do seasonal quests. And it's like, I could just run into like the Malignant dungeons and just do that, but I'll continue to get the same old regular gear until I progress through next stages of the Malignant, especially because I can't even access certain parts of the dungeon because I'm not at a certain part of the story yet. So it's like I'm just doing what I was already doing. It's supposed to feel fresh, new. It's supposed to be like a brand new story and all that, but it's not, because the game just came out and I like went super in. I enjoyed the whole thing. Just got to Paragon board, experienced like Paragon board, and actually saw like, oh, this is what I can do. Got to my Paragon board 2, and my first legendary node. Not like my first legendary node. It's like your first legendary weapon. When you find your first legendary weapon, I got to my first legendary node, and I'm like, oh, this is what I can do. And you're telling me I can get 2 more boards? And there's still all this power? Oh, I can't wait to figure out what I'm gonna, like, the game is still new, the game is still fresh. You could give me something to do, and if the season of the Malignant stuff isn't gonna be here after 3 months, then it makes sense to still be able to do it on my character. And then it's like, you clear the corruption, the Malignant curse is gone.
Right.
So, and it's like, okay, now it's back to regular. What's the next season?
Right.
Like,
You're on for the next season. Like that's it. It's so logical.
Just if you want me to do a different build, then I'll just give me loadouts, and then like I would want to try out a new character. Like right now, I don't want to waste time making a druid on the new season.
Never again.
I just started. I wouldn't want to play a new character.
Never again.
Yeah.
It would never make sense because you know there's gonna be a season every 3 months.
Yeah.
Think about how many new characters you have to make. You have to make a new character every 3 months.
Yeah.
To get any progressive enjoyment out of this game.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Yep. And
that doesn't make sense.
And you're starting from level 1.
From level 1.
You're starting from level 1. So it's like, so you're telling me I just got to the Paragon board, and it's like re-earn the Paragon board again. You know how long it took to get to level 50 and beat the Capstone dungeon? Like, as a matter of fact, I didn't even realize that the Capstone dungeon was available for me until I got to like level 60, and then I saw it and I was like, oh shit, the Capstone dungeon. But it's like, I just got here, and now you're telling me re-earn it all. It's gonna make the game fresh and new. It's not fresh and new.
Artificial.
It feels like just like homework. Just okay. I gotta do how many more of these? Okay, I gotta find 3 more random treasure goblins that randomly pop up and hope that nigga don't escape, or it's like, okay, I can do the strongholds, but then it's like everything that I already done, since it's not new anymore, it's just a thing to do to level up. I'm like rushing through it now because it's like it don't make. I just did it like the only new quest line I did, and I think it's because I beat the story mode. I ran into this quest line where the girl that was possessed with Andariel was actually like dealing with Andariel still in her mind, so we had to like go into her mind and confront Andariel. And then again, it wasn't even the full fight of Andariel, because once I got her life like halfway, the girl broke free, and then like boom, Andariel's done. So it's like that was the only new thing that I experienced, and I think it's just because I didn't do it on my Eternal Realm character. But I don't know.
Yes, I'm not a fan of the season mechanics. I know it existed before, but I think it's better suited for when the game is at the end of its life cycle than the start of a potentially long 10-year life cycle. Because I'm not going to be making a new character every 3 months for the next 10 years. I'm not going to do that shit, bro.
Nah, people have already started playing it.
Like, imagine if Destiny told me I had to make a new character every season.
And you only have 3 different classes.
If Destiny told me that shit, I would not play Destiny right now, bro.
No.
Like, right now, like, I know I can hop in Destiny with my 20-year-old character and fucking just pick up in the new season, get some cool shit from the new season.
It still feels fresh and new.
It's fine. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I know the fans, like, they said, we've been doing it like this since forever. Like, yeah, at the end of the game, not the start of it. It doesn't work here.
Yeah, it's like the game is brand new. It's fresh and new now. It's only been out now for like 2 months. It's only been out for 2 months. It's still fresh and new, and like, I don't know. I would have, as a person, I guess, that's new to the whole seasonal grind, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if the character that I was already building up, I can get right into it. And then, again, like for you just beat the story mode, you're just doing the Capstone dungeon, so you'll just be able to access, the seasonal stuff. But it's gonna be like, if you start the new season now, you're basically going all the way back
to square one.
It's like you were Samurai Jack and Aku threw you through the little portal, and it's like, do it again. I know you almost beat me, but do it again. And then like since you're just getting there, you haven't done Helltide yet.
Nope.
You haven't done any Nightmare dungeons.
Nope.
and you're just about to get to the Tree of Whispers, which is the only end game activity that's available in the season.
So I have to choose between
starting
starting over. I have to choose between starting over or going in and losing time on.
Or you could just be like, forget the season. I'll just play Eternal Realm until I'm done.
Yeah. I just wish the season stuff was integrated into the main stuff.
Yeah.
For now,
it's
right
dope.
now.
It's dope. It's cool. It's interesting, and the stuff that you can get from the Malignant Hearts, it's cool. It's actually it adds more depth, but it's like you're taking away the depth that I would have already had for new depth. So it's kind of like it's the same thing.
It's not even real depth. It's just different.
It's just something to waste my time until you can figure out another thing for me to waste more time on, and then drop another $90 expense on me to actually be able to experience more.